For example, today's program spotlight on Hope Family Justice Center will be under the domestic violence page on BH Connect. I will now pass it over to the site manager, Paola. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Paola, and this is
Juliet.
and we're here from the Hope Family Justice Center. Just so everybody knows, domestic violence services at BH Care is composed of the Umbrella Center for Domestic Violence that has been around for 30 years, over 30 years, and the Hope Family Justice Center since 2019. And so I'm the site manager, and Julie Nett's the intake specialist, and we're both bilingual. We both speak Spanish, and right now we're in the process of hiring an advocate for our program. So what is a family justice center? A family justice center is truly a movement across the world to best respond to victims, survivors, and thrivers of any type of abuse, whether it's domestic violence, sexual assault, trafficking, or any type of trauma. The first family justice center opened in 2008 in San Diego, California. They were able to reduce domestic violence homicides by 95% within the first 5 years of inception. Here in New Haven, we were able to get the statistics from the New Haven Police Department, and we are down 98% on domestic violence homicides since we have been open. So that really talks about this network of care that family justice centers are. It's this movement across the world. It's about people being able to get immediate and appropriate services right away without any gap of service, any gap in service or care. We always really talk about the care piece because providing services is one piece of the work. Having somebody understand that you're being compassionate, non-judgmental, you're meeting them where they're at is very important to family justice centers. So we are a resource hub. What we do here is we provide information for clients and community partners so they can access those services in their community and be able to then disseminate the partners that need to be in place to help them. And that can be anywhere from counselors to basic needs housing folks, law enforcement, legal attorneys, whoever the family, not just the identified victim, but also the whole family together. We also have a voices group, so we do a lot of advocacy here and systems change. And so the voices group are composed of survivors and thrivers of domestic violence or sexual assault, so they can have a voice in the legislative process. And they can actually be part of what makes a family justice center run. And it is through their suggestions and their strategies that then can make either legislative change or make our family justice centers more caring and nurturing that they need to be. And so we serve all individuals in the family. And so it could be the grandmother, it could be the children, it could be another partner that is also exposed to the violence. And so we do work with homicide survivors as well, too. So what are we, right? So here at the Hope Family Justice Center, we're downtown New Haven. It's a one-stop shop of multiple partners here on site, in person or virtual. When COVID happened and we opened just a couple months before COVID had hit, we had to be creative in making sure that clients could access partners immediately, especially when they were in crisis or in danger. And so it's getting that team approach here on site. We have a detective here every week. We have legal services here on site. We have our Umbrella Center sister program. here as well too. And then other partners like Yale Hospital to come on site and provide the services. We did an actual pilot of how long it would take for somebody to go to all their services and the providers in their community if they didn't have a car. And it took 25 hours just to drive to all of the partners. And so the purpose here is to make sure that the client doesn't have to tell their story more than one time. It's really assessing their safety and what their needs are. And we just don't want to re-traumatize clients that have gone through trauma. And so we're strength-based. And what I mean about strength-based, so we all do risk assessments and we need to so that then we can provide the services that are appropriate. But sometimes what we forget is the strengths of this person, that their identity is not just the trauma or the abuse that they've gone through. So what we do here at the Hope Family Justice Center after every session, we do a strengths discovery form. And within that strengths discovery form, we're identifying strengths of that client to help increase the protective factors and decrease the risk factors. And so we're person-centered. So what works with one family or one client might not work with another. We have to really meet people where they're at. And so what we do here is we facilitate care plan meetings. And so care plan meetings are the client is the nuclei of their meeting. They are the leaders of their team. We have all the providers and bigger systems in place at the meeting, including natural support, somebody that they trust that's in their natural support network. And we come together to talk about what is their vision, what are their needs, and what each team member has a role in helping that client and family reach their vision. And we're trauma responsive. So we do a lot of trainings about being trauma informed. And that's great. But after you've been informed, what do you do with that information? So trauma responsive approach is really about creating an environment that responds to the trauma to be soothing, calming, nurturing, reduce anxiety, be able to, with soft lighting, with the way that you set up your center or your site, being able to provide wellness activities, not just for clients, but also for staff. We have to take care of the people that take care of the clients. And there might be a lot of vicarious trauma happening when you're dealing with so many clients that are in crisis. So we want to make sure we're definitely giving our staff the support that they need. So we have hope notes, we celebrate people's achievements, we have birthday magic wands, we have a hope closet where clients can come in and pick out clothes and hygiene items. We have a relaxation table that's for clients and for staff. So if you just need a little break, we have a children's room. In the children's room, it's a place for the children that have also been affected by trauma to be able to have a safe space and for the client to actually talk without having to re-traumatize the children with the story. And so we have family lounges where there's like couches and soft lighting so people can just rest and wait for the next partner to meet with them, including things like hope seeds, where they can actually grow a hope garden and whatever wishes and dreams that they have. And so once again, we're promoting wellness. We assess safety, so we do have to be conscious about that and with Cooper on it and Amanda, making sure that the place is safe in a health way, but also in a physical way. So we do have panic buttons. All our doors are locked. We do have a ring so that when before people come in, and everything's, we have glass as well so that clients can also see what's happening and they don't feel enclosed or claustrophobic. And we're hope driven, right? That's like the most important part about healing. anything. If you don't have hope that your quality of life can be better, then really somebody ends up feeling helpless. And so being hope driven is always thinking of ways of how can we help this person feel hopeful that they can live a life without violence. And so we have over 200 collaborators and growing in our community. We do warm handoffs. So what is a warm handoff? A warm handoff is the client actually gets a human being to call them back. One thing we found when we opened up the center is we were saying, okay, have the clients contact us, and because of confidentiality. And what we found is half of those clients were getting lost because they weren't calling us. They had so much to do. They were overwhelmed. It was another thing that they needed to do while they were in crisis, while they were stressed out. So what we decided is, how do we create a level of confidentiality, but also make sure that clients get the services that they need? And so what we did is created warm handoffs where we get permission or the partner gets permission to refer to us, and then we actually contact the client. We actually take that moment to reach out to them. And a lot of times they appreciate that because they feel like they're being cared for and that somebody cares. And that oftentimes can help for them to continue to access services. And so it's about the systems change, the way that we use language, the way we talk to each other, including our intake packets that are inclusive, that are strength-based, that we're asking questions about culture and what type of provider that you're looking for. And so year to date, as of yesterday, we have served 2,838 people, individuals, that's children all the way up to adults, and we've had 8,793 visits, whether those were walk-ins, scheduled on-site, call-ins, or virtual meetings. So warm handoff process, as I was talking about, is really that referral to connect the client directly to a partner. We've done this here at BH Care, which is lovely, and definitely have a good reception from the client that, hey, that person did call me. And we don't say, oh, DCF's going to call you, or a clinician's going to call you, or law enforcement. We're going to say it's Detective Carr's going to call you, or Cassandra's going to call you. We actually name the people, the warm handoffs that are going to contact them. And that creates a humanistic approach in creating a network of care. And so again, when we think about it could be any age, any gender, any race, any sexual orientation. Anybody can refer to us, and the trauma or the violence doesn't have to be current. It could be somebody that is 70 years old, has never talked about the violence and abuse that they've dealt with, and their partner that was abusive to them passed away. And so now they're ready to talk about their trauma. So it could be at any time of their life to do the referrals. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. Of course, we are flexible, and if people need to come in early or stay late, we are here to do that for them because we are a walk-in center. And we do schedule clients on site, depending on what their needs are. So what does collaboration and action look like, right? And so I always talk about collaboration and action. We have a lot of meetings talking about let's collaborate together. But collaboration and action is really when you have a client, you have a family that really needs a lot of support and care. And so what does that structure look like? And all the petals of the flower are surrounding the client, are surrounding the family. They are the nuclei. They are that centerpiece. They are the lead of their care plan. And so as you see, it could be law enforcement, clinicians, natural supports, whoever it is in their family that's going to take a role to help them reach their vision. And so I want you guys to think about a car accident. and why it is that I love car accidents. Okay, so what happens in a car accident? There's an impact, there's violence, someone might get hurt. And what happens? The bystanders stop, they go running to the car, they see that there's a baby on board, they take the baby out, they take the driver out and hold their hand and say, "You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. I'm not going to leave you. We called the police. Your baby's right here. Please hold on." And then who comes next is the fire department. And the fire department is checking out the car, seeing if there's fluid that's leaking, making sure that you're okay. They come over, they say, "It's all right, the ambulance is coming, and the police officer are coming. We're not going to leave you until they get here." And then the police come and they're taking pictures of the car. They're saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry this happened. It's going to be okay. I'm going to file a police report. You can pick it up when you're ready, when you're feeling up to it." And the ambulance is on their way. And the ambulance comes, right? And they put the neck brace on and they put that blanket that's nice and warm on top of you. They ask you, "Do you want your baby to come in the ambulance with you? Would you like to stay together?" And they're nurturing and they're caring and they're listening to what your needs are. And then you go to the hospital and the nurses and the doctors are working to help you get together, make sure that you're healthy, make sure that your bones and your body are feeling more, feeling safe and your baby's okay. And they're telling you what your updates of your baby, that they weren't injured and taking care of those injuries. And then your mother calls, right? You're discharged from the hospital. They do a discharge plan. An outpatient therapist is going to call you so you can rehab that leg that you got hurt and your baby's fine. And so your mother calls and says, "Oh my God, thank God you're okay. Thank God that that the baby's all right. Auntie's going to come over with your Walgreens script for your pain medication. Auntie's going to come over and watch the kids so that you can just rest and relax. And grandma's coming over with some lasagna so that you don't have to worry about food for a couple of days." And your boss calls you and says, "Oh my God, I just heard that you were in a car accident. Please let me make sure that, I want you to know that your job is okay. You come back when you're ready. You say you're coming back Monday, but if you need a couple extra days, don't worry about it. We're here for you and we're happy you're okay." So what happens when there's domestic violence or sexual assault? Not that. There is no police coming unless you call them. Oftentimes, there is no ambulance when you're injured. People are asking you, like your mother and your sister and your auntie and your grandmother, "Why did you let this continue? Why did you stay in this abuse? I told you so. And now I'm not going to help you, and you're going to have to deal with taking care of your kids." And your boss is telling you, "You better come to work. And if you don't get here by a certain time or day, then your job is at jeopardy." So I want us to really think about collaboration and action and how all those systems and providers came together to help a victim in a car accident that was injured and their baby as well too. And how can we as providers create that kind of system of care that we have when we have somebody coming in? And are we there holding their hand and telling them, are they okay? And we will be there with you throughout until you're healing and you have hope again. So it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October. And so we've had a lot of events this month across the community. And so the first event I want to talk about is Sound of Hope is coming up. It is on the 24th at Long Wharf Pier. And it's really to commemorate victims that have died from domestic violence this year. It's a very powerful event, and I've been going to it for the last 20 years. And then on tomorrow is Purple Thursday. So if you can wear some purple in solidarity of being either a woman or a man against domestic violence, and take pictures as well too, please. And then my sister's place, who is a consignment shop, a lot of us know from Nancy and her team. It's in Ansonia. You can get a voucher for a client. And just so that you guys know, if BH Care, any program or any office at BH Care has already given a voucher for the client and their children, they can do that once every 6 months, and then they can get a new voucher after 6 months. And guess what, guys? We get a discount as well too. There is clothing, there is household items. I've gotten things myself, and I want to thank my sister's place because they have donated to the Hope Family Justice Center so that we can have decorations here on site. So if anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer them for you. And I really appreciate you guys listening today.
I do have a question.
Marisol,
Hi.
hi,
You said it right. Thank you.
you welcome.
So I know that there's like this stigma on men that face domestic violence. How does your program combat that or just accept men uh, and like make them feel, it's safe?
Yeah, and it's such a great question because we do have men that come here. And the best way to answer it is actually to give you a real story. I had a gentleman in, beautiful person, young 23-year-old black male, walked into the center, came from court, and he had talked about how he had been abused by his partner, and he had gone to court and he was found as the offender. And what happened is at nighttime, when he was sleeping, she started to stab him, and she grabbed him. He grabbed her by the neck or whatever it was that he saw first, and he ended up getting charged for strangulation. And so it's really thinking about how, he talked about his father and about getting over it. You're a man, you're very strong in that culture, you're to be the provider. And just him talking about reliving this night and every night, not being able to sleep, being attacked and almost killed by his partner. And so there are not a lot of services, I can tell you, for men that are victims of domestic violence or sexual assault. A lot of times because they don't report, and a lot of the programs for men are geared as they are the abusers. But here we take a different approach. Every human being has a right to have services, to have the care that they need. So we've been able to build actually a system and providers that are willing to take men as they are the victims and give them the support that they need. And a lot of times is even working within the community so that they can understand that real men have feelings too, which we actually did with the Southern football team a couple of years ago. And that really helped bring awareness that men not only have responsibility to be a part of this breaking the cycle of violence, but that they can be victims too, and they deserve to be taken care of. Great question. Elaine is asking, is there a referral process? Yeah, great question. Yes, so you can either call the Hope Family Justice Center at 203-800-7204, or email me or Juliet. And if you want to do a warm handoff, all you have to do is just make sure you have verbal permission from your client, and then we will contact them within 24 hours. I am definitely have high expectations of us. If somebody calls by 9 o'clock, by 12 o'clock, we've already reached out to them if we did not pick up the phone right then and there. Because you never know who's in crisis or who might be in danger. You're welcome, Elaine. Okay, well, I think if nobody else has any questions or any other thoughts, I think we can wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you so
Team?
much. That was very informative.
Thank you.
Team Culture would like to thank everyone for coming today to our Hope Family Justice Center Spotlight. If you have any program-specific questions, please reach out to Paula directly. Team Culture is aiming to increase the number of spotlights we have each month, so please be on the lookout for emails from Team Culture. And again, a recording of this program Spotlight will be under the domestic violence page of BH Connect by the end of the week. Anyone interested in joining Team Culture, please reach out to Ebony, Cooper, or Emily. Thank you again and have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.